What's up, guys? Willows here, and I just want to go over real quick because I just saw this article, and it's like GoFundMe raises $200 million so far to save Toys R Us, and I'm like, really? Like that's a significant amount of money for random people to raise to save a store. But then you read more into the article and you click onto the GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe is called "Don't Let the Lights Go Out for the Next Generation of Toys R Us Kids. Donate now to help #Save Toys R Us." And when you read into it, so they've currently raised, as of recording this, $200,047,000. So 200 million of that, however, came from one man, or one guy in his firm, I guess, Isaac Larian, who's a Iranian-born American business guy who owns a company called MGA Entertainment, who are this just giant conglomerate of toy makers. Yeah, fair. The billionaire that made all his money off toys wants to keep presumably one of his big buyers in business, right? So, $47,000, if you don't include his $200 million contribution, is pretty insignificant as far as saving a multi-billion-dollar company. So I want to get into just real quick about how Toys R Us, what happened to them, what they could have done differently, and why they did go bankrupt. So, as I'm sure you know, that Toys R Us has declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the United States and is going to close all their stores, and I believe up here in Canada as well, they're going to be closing their stores. However, it is important to note that they were profitable in Canada as of announcing their bankruptcy. So, Toys R Us has been kind of in this mindset of, this is how we do it, this is the toy store experience, and, it's just kind of an outdated mindset. I mean, like, in an age of 2018 where everyone can buy stuff off Amazon on their smartphones that comes directly to their house, or they go to Walmart and they can buy the same toys for cheaper while they're buying the groceries anyway. So, there's no point having this Toys R Us, experience, which arguably wasn't even a good experience. I shoot a little quick clip of Gary Vaynerchuk talking about it real quick.
They didn't change their stores into, American Girl experiences. Like, you could have made Toys R Us 3 years ago could have created the national Lego championships, and everybody would be, there was a million. They could have made slime centers. They could be killing it right now with their locations, but no, they choose to just like sell toys out of it.
But basically he was saying, like, they could have done so much to enhance the experience. It was just walking, like, as far as I can remember, I haven't been to a Toys R Us in however long, but as far as I can remember, there's not really any interaction, there's not really any, positive experience. It's like, I might as well go to a Walmart. So Toys R Us claimed like two things of why they went bankrupt, and that was like, kids are playing with iPads now, they're not playing with toys, and Amazon can sell the toys for garbage prices and deliver it right to you, so they're running us out of business. And my thoughts are, this is a giant, giant, giant multi-billion-dollar company in however many countries. Start making iPad apps. Kids are dumb. Like, you can make a stupid little, jumpy game with IP that you own, and sell it to kids, and sell it, like, whatever. Sell it for 99 cents. You make a bunch of money, and then have deals where, like, oh, if you beat this certain level, you get, a coupon for coming into Toys R Us and get the toy that you saw that you were jumping in the iPad app, right? That's a perfect idea. Or what was the other one? Amazon? It's like, well, so early 2000s, like 2001, Toys R Us had the opportunity to start going into e-commerce and stuff like that, and instead of that, they're like, Amazon, just handle everything for us, because they didn't believe in the internet. They didn't see that vision. They're like, people are gonna want to come to a store, and they never saw it. So, they kind of dug their own grave there. They can't be like, okay, well, we'll give everything to Amazon, and then, 15 years later, they're like, oh, Amazon ran us out of business. It's like, you put the pieces in motion, right? So at the end of the day, it's just a lack of innovation. That's all it is. It's that, that brick and mortar mentality where it's like, I have the department store mentality. We just saw Sears go out of business. We just saw so many other companies go out of business recently. I think like H&M and Claire's or whatever declaring bankruptcy as well. No one likes this anymore. Did anyone like it? Like, I don't think anyone liked it in the past. It's just that was the only option. Like, no one likes having to go down to a store with your kids that you're screaming and crying or whatever, and take them into public with a bunch of other kids and stuff like that. Like, it's just, no one wants to do that. If you can order it right from your phone while I'm at work, you know, and get it delivered to my house next day with Amazon Prime for the same price or cheaper, why am I lugging my kids into a minivan and driving down and spending 4 hours of my life? You know, I'm a busy guy. I don't have that kind of time. You know, like, I don't have kids. I don't know what their mentality is as far as, you know, going to this store and having this experience. But there's so many things that, you know, that Toys R Us could have been doing. They could have been innovating. They could have had, you know, like, cool stuff. They could have had, you know, Play-Doh stations where you could make stuff, and they could have had, you know, like in Mall of America in Minneapolis, you have like the Lego world, right, where it's like this interactive thing. You know, they could have been doing all that. They had the money, and instead they kind of squandered the opportunity. So I think that, you know, they're basing this entire GoFundMe off of nostalgia. They're saying, you know, don't let the lights go out for the next generation of Toys R Us kids. I think that is the only way they're going to save this business. To play it like, oh, you did this, you want your kids to do it, right? It's like, I don't know, I think that's the same mentality of like, well, you grew up driving a carriage, you don't want your kids to have cars now, do you? You want to go back and nostalgia, right? Like, it's just playing on people's emotions, and I think that, you know, 1,500 donors only raised about $47,000, the $200 million notwithstanding, obviously. As of recording this, they do have a couple weeks left on the campaign. They have $200 million and $46,000 out of $1 billion is their goal, which, side note, I don't even know if that's going to be enough. You know, and as things get worse in the future, like, it's only going to get worse for department stores in the future. It's only going to get worse for stores like this. You know, like Amazon, like Bezos is out there innovating, you know, off his ass. Like, that guy lives and breathes innovation, and you don't think he's gonna move back at this if you try to move in his direction? Like, you know, I don't know. I just don't know. So I guess this is, you know, I can't blame the billionaire for being like, hey, I'm gonna lose a huge client presumably, so let's save him, hey, like. But you know, if it was me, I would probably take that $200 million that I donated. I think that would be enough to probably buy the rights to Toys R Us. Like, you'd probably buy the name at least after they go bankrupt. Use that name and make an Amazon ripoff where you're only selling toys, and you know, but still have Toys R Us or something like that. But I don't think the brick and mortar experience is, you know, I don't think it's something that people want anymore. You know, if you disagree with me, let me know. I'd love to have a discussion about this, but I think the numbers speak for themselves. And, you know, when you don't believe in the next move, like, you don't believe in the future, and you want to be stuck in this kind of this same old thing all the time, you know, there's really no hope. So, thanks for watching. Vote Willows. Yeah, Toys R Us.